Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of B&B TV. And as promised, today I'm going to do a review of the Dobyns Fury cranking rod. So, before I purchased this specific rod, I've been looking at a bunch of other $100 rods, and this lineup hadn't even come out yet. I was about to spend the money on the Abu Garcia Veritas 2.0, and then I got wind that Dobyns was coming out with a $100 class rod. I realize it's $109.99, big deal, 10 extra dollars. It's still a $100 class rod. So I waited and I waited and I waited. Then they finally came out. Then they were sold out everywhere because they just went like hotcakes because everybody wanted to try the new $100 class rod from Dobyns. So finally, once they got back in stock, I got one ordered, and I had been wanting a cranking setup. So I ordered the Fury 705CB. It's a 7-foot long, medium heavy, moderate fast action rod. And for your crankbaits, you want that moderate action. And what I mean by moderate action is, let me see if I can show you here, is you can see how the rod bends almost halfway down the whole rod, it bends. And the benefit of that is when you're throwing a lure that has treble hooks on it, set the hook, that rod is going to load up so you do not pull the hooks out of that fish's mouth, because these are not super beefy hooks like you throw on, let's say a jig or a Texas rig or something like that. You can tear these out of the fish's mouth. So that parabolic bend is what they call it, is going to help you, with your hook set, to get the hook into that fish, but not drive that hook home so hard that you rip that bait out of that fish's mouth. So anyway, back to the rod. I have fished with this rod for the last year. I've got it paired up with a Lose Tournament MB that you guys just seen me do a video of 2 weeks ago. And I mean, the setup on this is absolutely is wonderful. It's really light. It's pretty sensitive. If you guys don't know who Gary Dobyns is, obviously he's the owner of Dobyns Rods, and I read the article about why he came out with the Fury series of rods and why it took him so long to come out with a $100 rod is he's very particular about the materials he uses in his fishing rods. He only wants to use the best materials, obviously for the price point that he has, but it's quality, and he strives to have quality and excellent materials for each rod he puts out. And he could not find the right combination of materials to put together a $100 rod. Well, he finally did it, and as you can see, it has the cork grip handle right here, and it has the EVA foam, and that was just a little bit of cost savings, but you still have your cork that you're going to be gripping, where you're going to have most of your sensitivity, because the foam is not as sensitive as cork, and that's why you see a lot of the majority of rod manufacturers use cork. It's for the sensitivity. I'm not saying that foam isn't sensitive, it's just not as sensitive, but it is more durable. But like I said, I have fished with this rod for a year. I absolutely love this rod. I love the way it feels. I love the weight of the rod. And I like the fact that even for a 7-foot rod, I'm throwing a Rapala DT10. The distance I can get out of a 7-foot rod throwing a medium diving crankbait, I can get pretty significant distance out of this. If I had one recommendation for Gary, if you actually ever watch this video, how about maybe a 7.5-foot casting rod in the Fury line. I'm just saying, that way when we have those deeper diving plugs, those DT, you know, 6s and 10s, maybe a little bigger rod, maybe down the road. But anyway, back to the review. No, it feels great in your hand. It loads up excellent. It is pretty sensitive. I have this paired up, like I said, with the Loose Tournament MB. I've got 12-pound Seaguar and VizX on this. I absolutely love the setup. Like I said, it feels great in your hand. It loads up great. When you're grinding that bait down, you can feel that bait bouncing off the rocks or grinding through gravel or in mud, you know, if you're in the wrong spot and you're fishing mud, obviously. But, you know, for the price point, I'm actually switching all of my rods to the Fury line. That's how impressed I have been with this one rod. I actually just purchased another Fury rod because I like that one so much. This one's the FR705CB. And for those of you thinking about a $100 rod, I super encourage you, check out the Fury series from Dobyns. You will not be disappointed. These rods are top quality. I mean, I think these rods will probably give some manufacturers $150 rods a run for their money. They are great. This weighs nothing. You can fish with this setup all day long. You are not going to get tired. I would recommend one thing that I did not do on my cranking rod is, I wasn't thinking about it, is put cork seal on this to help your cork last longer. This one will get it. But like I said, if you guys are looking for a $100 rod, look to the Fury series. You will not be disappointed. I have beat the crap out of that rod the last year, and it still looks brand new, besides the grip. You know, I don't have any major scratches in the finish of the paint. It has been super durable. The guides have been excellent. I mean, I try to be careful with my rods, but when you're fishing, especially in a tournament situation, the last thing that you're thinking about is being gentle with your rods. You want to get that rod down, get your other rod out. You're not thinking about being gentle. When you're ramming these in the rod locker, when you're taking these out of the rod locker, these rods will handle the abuse. I guarantee it. You will not be disappointed with these rods. Like I said, they retail for $109.99, which I think is an absolute steal for what you're getting. You can get them at Tackle Warehouse. You can get them straight from Dobyns. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other retailers that sell these. If you guys have any questions about these, I will put the link to the Dobyns Rods website below. I will also put a link to a forum that I am in that has a huge support of Dobyns rods. It's Ultimate Bass. I will link that down below. There's a big, huge thread just about Dobyns rods if you guys want to ask a bunch more people than me how much they like Dobyns rods. There's a ton of us on there. A lot of us love this rod. So, yes, I would recommend this to anybody looking for a new rod. So anyway, I will see you guys next week, and as all else, just go fish.